Go to school, stay out of trouble, get a good education, get a good job so you don't have to work hard like I do. Those were some powerful words said to me when I was younger by my mother, and those are the words that are the backbone of who I am today. Initially, I thought my past was irrelevant and not interesting, but on reflection, I think my past is my greatest asset. We all have a story. We should not be afraid to share our story, and tonight, I will be sharing my story with you. I'm from Jamaica, and I grew up in a single-parent household with my mother and my 3 sisters. How many of you grew up with your dad? Good. I didn't grow up with my dad. My dad passed away when I was only 3 weeks old. I don't know what it is like to grow up with a dad. I grew up in a very rural, deprived community. We didn't have running water. We had to walk miles to fetch water in buckets to take back home. We didn't have electricity, and we didn't even have television. We didn't have a welfare system to look after us. If my mother didn't work, we didn't eat. So every day, my mother would drill in us: go to school, work hard, get a good education, stay out of trouble so you don't have to work hard like I do. In 1997, I got a great opportunity to migrate to Montserrat. And at the time, I was really, really excited. But all my friends thought I was crazy because Montserrat is known for its volcano. And at the time, the volcano was erupting, and everyone was migrating from Montserrat, fear of their life. But while this was a very scary moment for me, it created great job opportunities for me. I got this great opportunity to join the Royal Virgin Montserrat Police Force, and there I trained as a police constable. And then I got this great opportunity to work as a community beat officer, and I was commended to be the best community policing officer in Montserrat. I also work on a committee where we implement strategies for professionals who are dealing with domestic violence and child abuse in Montserrat. And I also work as a search and rescue helicopter officer. But whilst my job was exciting at the time in Montserrat, after 5 years, I started to question my sanity of staying on this island. The volcano started erupting again, and people started migrating more ever. And in 2003, a great opportunity came where in the British Virgin Islands, they were advertising for police officers who were trained in domestic violence and child abuse. And know what? I took this as an escape route out of Montserrat. I worked in the British Virgin Islands as a police officer where I specialized in domestic violence and child abuse, and I was the first overseas police officer in the British Virgin Islands. In 2008, I decided I want to come to the UK, and I wanted to join the Greater Manchester Police Force, but because of residency restriction, I couldn't. So I decided, with all my transferable skill, I want to become a social worker. Today, I am a social worker, specializing, looked after children. In 2 years' time, I see myself qualifying as a mental health professional. So, go to school, work hard, get a good education, stay out of trouble, so you don't have to work as hard as I do. We all have a story, and we need to start sharing our story. And I challenge you tonight, when you leave this building, instead of going on social media, uploading your best selfie, or even describing yourself in 150 characters, just meet the next person next to you and share a little bit of your story and say how your past has linked to your future. Thank you.